I'll do it.
What are you making, milkshakes over there, Johnny?
No, this is leftist tears. See that, hot or cold?
All right, tell me when you're ready.
It's on.
All right.
You can edit this anytime you want.
What up, guys? American Gunner here with my buddy Johnny Glock, the one and only.
Man, got some locals in the house here. These guys always come up and visit, man. It's always a pleasure when they do. They bring a bunch of different generations up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we doing today, Johnny? What do we got?
Tell me, we got a Shadow Systems here, and it looks like it's a competition kind of rig. So what do you want me to do with this?
Range gun.
Range gun. Never seen these comps yet, but looks like a decent fit and finish. Gonna have to tighten that down a little bit though. Have you been shooting this much?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll shot about that.
Yeah. Let's just see what this is right now. Yeah. See now with this Shadow System, you'll see after this trigger breaks, you're gonna see a big jump. That's all jump in the back of the gun, which is not. Let me move this here. So here's your wall. There's a little bit of no man's land there. Wall, a little bit of no man. See how I'm creeping through there, and then it's gonna jump. That's where it jumps, and that's where you lose a lot of your speed in a competition rig, because now you got to go all the way back up. You know, so it's got longer reset. Not say it's not horrible. You know, I've felt worse, but you know, Shadow Systems are one of those guns where you know you could have one that's wow, I can't believe this is a Shadow System in my hand, and you have other ones that you're just like. You just want to throw them through the wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're going to get into this one and, you know, basically
yeah, you can notice that whenever you're shooting the gun, you can feel pull through that no man's land. You can pull to the wall, and then there's a little bit of no man's land, and then you get a break. And I could feel that. I could definitely feel that.
Now, that's not bad. The thing with this no man's land is it kind of stacks. You know what I mean? And that's what throws you off. So usually with the competition rig, the difference where the rubber meets the road is like with a carry gun, you want to have ultimate predictability.
Yeah.
So you want a wall and then snap. Competition gun, it doesn't matter that much because you're never going to go, it's never going to go beep and you're like, oh, I'm not going to shoot. You know what I mean? Like you're always pulling that trigger.
Right.
So you don't have to have that, what I call assurance or insurance in that trigger in the same way that you have to for like the unpredictability of a carry situation. So you need more predictability. You know, when that wall is, you need to say the next bit of pressure because, you know, you're in a situation where you have an adrenaline dump. That right there, you know, especially guys, they say what they want. Oh, I train. They're going to get on their trigger. You know what I mean? And they're going to get in that area right there, and they're going to be, hey, no, boom. You know what I mean? They're going to cook one off. You know what I mean? So basically, that no man's land, especially for a carry rig, is just.
Yeah, and then when you're transitioning from target to target, you stay in that no man's land, and sometimes if you get too far into that area,
right,
all of a sudden it breaks. You know, because
yeah.
you're relying on that stacking wall.
Yeah, so that sponginess is. So with this one, you know, what we do is we get rid of that, and we just make it so dang light, it's not perceived. You know what I mean? As creep anymore. You're blowing right through it. But that's what you want with the carry gun. I mean, with the combat. So I mean, with the competition because. Bam, you know what I mean? You don't want to have to go wall bam. You know what I mean? A lot of guys. It depends. Like I use my combat trigger no matter what I'm doing because I'm just so used to it. You know what I mean? I don't have really a difference between a competition and a combat gun. But for what your intended purpose is in this, I think you know, most can be indicated is that competition trigger. Which let's grab you Gen 4 here with the Vex shoe, correct?
Yes. There's going to be a lot of guys that probably see this video that are wondering what trigger they would use for their, what Johnny Glock trigger they would run if, basically what trigger they would run for everyday carry.
That would be the combat trigger, and that's those ones right there. The ones that are yellow. Same thing. Those are designed, you know, they're designed for carry. You know, they're approved with over 250 different agencies across the U.S. for duty, carry, you know, approved for that, which is a big deal. You know what I mean? That they trust you enough to put it in a, you know, anything from first responder, correction officer, federal, law enforcement, you know, regular PDs, stuff like that. Anything, SWAT, a lot of SWAT guys carry them. And so, yeah, we got a ton of patches. They always give us patches and stuff like that. We're talking about getting like a wall of patches for that. Let's just start with tuning this out. Let's see what we got. So we're just gonna drop this in as is and see how it functions. And we're gonna use a 4-pound spring. It's the lighter of the two springs. You know, most of the time, if you're shooting decent ammo, it's not going to be an issue. If you get a hold of some ammo that's just have the little spring there yet. Get a hold of some subpar ammo, then you're going to have, you know, Winchester white box, sometimes CCI. This design though for the striker with the Shadow Systems, I will give them an A+ on that. It really helps with the light strikes, potential light strikes, if you put it that way.
And you say, what were you saying about the Winchester white box?
Winchester white box is really dirty and it's got harder primers. You know what I mean? And not even sometimes if they're harder, they're just receded. You know, they're subpar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people talk crap on Wolf or Tula. You know, that's I think in my opinion that's more consistent than the Winchester white box.
Yeah.
You know, but S&B like Stellar and Belay or whatever the heck it is, like that ammo, like there's certain ammo that we grab and we'll just throw a handful in with our good ammo because we actually want light strikes, you know, as we're training. So we need, you know, you need malfunctions. You don't want that in a competition, of course, you know.
Right. No.
You know, but in defensive training, you definitely want to force malfunctions. That way, you can learn how to address those malfunctions. Otherwise, if you're in a potential gunfight and there's and you don't have that in there, it's going to be very hard to clear. You're just like, what? You know, like a double feed and you know, tab rack.
Right.
So you can see the same thing here. So we got a very minimal take up. There's jump that you see the trigger jumping with this too, because we haven't adjusted yet right after the break. So try to make these very, very easy to adjust. Pull the back pin out.
It's the same thing you did on the other two, right?
Right. So I'm going to adjust this in a little bit. Because I want it to break and then stop. I don't want it to break and then keep traveling back, or else that's going to add to the reset button. Same thing here. And this is one of the interesting things with these. They're sometimes it's hard to dial out the overtrap.
So that takes the travel out when you do that, Johnny?
Yeah. So I'm stopping it's a stop, so it's stopping this bar before it travels back any further.
If you go too far, though.
If you go too far, which we probably will, it's not going to let the trigger break. But then if you hit that point, then you know you just have to go in a little bit to get it to break.
I was in the service in Vietnam when they switched from the M14 to the M16.
Right.
The first ammo that they used was Winchester ball ammunition, and it was, you know, M16 was a precision piece of equipment,
right?
You know, and ball powder was dirty. Dirty.
So now what you see when the trigger breaks, it stops. It doesn't go all the way back like it was before. So now when we're resetting, much better trigger. We're going to try to take a little bit more out.
Yeah, it's funny you said that about the Winchester white box. I cleaned that gun a week ago and then ran 300 rounds to it yesterday. And that's how dirty it got.
Yeah, so look, it's even shorter now. That's stupid.
Wow. That did shorten it up a lot.
Yeah. So you guys can rewind the video and see actually what this trigger looked like back there. It was a ton of travel back and forth. Now this is just, and it's unbelievable. Now what I like to do is I like to push down on this and make sure, like what I'm trying to do is I'm minimizing the frame to slide ratio by squeezing this together. And if it's still breaking when I do that, then I know I have enough space
to go some more.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go anymore. I can tell right now just from the way it feels. There's a little mini. When I push down, there's just a little mini stall. So I know when I have a magazine in here, I'm at the maximum. I'm at the maximum. Feel that trigger, man. That's amazing. Maximum potential for that trigger.
Wow.
Yeah, that's stupid. That ended up being like
holy
the
crap. Guys, that trigger is so light. Oh my god.
Let's test it.
There.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, is that 0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this? There's like a weird thing on the lockup.
It's been doing that.
Been doing that?
I mean, I noticed today it's done it a couple times.
1 pound, 10 ounces. One pound, 1 ounce. I have to, it's because I got to get the, I think once we get the other parts in it. And it's probably this too. This is that being turned right there. Won't let it,
Oh, yeah.
got to get that. 1 pound, 4 ounces out of 3. Your average is, oh, I just cleared it.
It was probably 1.31 or something.
Yeah, 1.3 somewhere
Yeah.
around there. So we'll give it that. But you guys saw proof in the pudding there. Plus, I mean, not only that, that reset on that thing is just amazing. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
it
catching-
is that.
catching
It's
up
that
front there.
compensator,
It's
yeah.
compensator.
Oh, let me,
So let
here,
me,
brother, hold this a second. I want to grab mine. See that trigger pull.
Just off of here, we're gonna put the. There's your pins. Just reinstall these pins. Now, honestly, this was a very easy Shadow System to do. Sometimes I get them in and they're just a freaking nightmare. You know, is that the same? That's the same one you have right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got an XR 920 over there. No, that's an MR. Yeah.
So see this how this looks right there. You don't want to let that roll like that. You kind of want to bring that down, bend it a little bit. I always like to see mine like that. You don't want it to look like that. That's where you want it to be.
Okay.
Right about there. It's going to cause you issues over time, so just don't. That way you got it seated in there really well. Pull this back pin. Sometimes if you can't get this pin through, you can always go backwards through here just to help line it up, and that always helps. You know, I don't do like safe queens. You know how you always see people like with their gloves on when they're messing with guns. I don't think none of us wear gloves. I don't care. Sometimes people like, I'll get a gun like this and someone will be like, hey man, what you got? You're getting grease all over my new slide. I'm like, look at them like, boy.
Yeah.
Shit.
But it's
You
good for
hang
it.
it on the wall, go shoot the damn thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that came out. That's just. That puts a smile on your face right there. This thing couldn't have came out any better. I'm telling you right now, like that's just a devastatingly good trick. My goodness.
All right, there you go, guys. Johnny Glock, man, #1 in triggers in the world.
You know it, guys.
He's my go-to guy right
And
here.
it means that, man. What do we got? 2 guns. Well, the one gun won the world. All my triggers were in the Pan Am Games. All the Brazilian guys won that. They came here the day before when they were here. We hooked them up. And then Morgan Rose Lionheart, she won the women's in Thailand. There's my trigger in there too.
Really?
So when he says world, he's not messing around. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
World champ.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. American Gunner checking out. Just wanted to show all my Shadow Systems fans out there this new trigger, and thank you, Johnny, for putting that trigger in. We got a bunch more guns to do, so we're gonna sign off.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Anytime.
Peace.